All right, let's actually run through every single one of the mobile suits in this game real quick. Get an idea of who they are, what they do, their, positioning in the game, what their role in each team comp is, etc. So starting off with Pale Rider. Pale Rider is kind of your jack of all trades, all around, very, very good mobile suit. Bullpup machine gun, the Hades system, normal hand grenade, EMP hand grenade, and the repair tool. This is very, very similar to Soldier 76 in Overwatch, for example. A all-arounder, frontline / gunline style character whose gun can absolutely chew through enemies in relatively short time. Now, one of the things about this game that people need to bear in mind is that grenades don't do a ton of damage, number one. And, you can see 350 is good. It's really good for burst damage, but, the AoE is not that big. You can see just from that far away, the damage was literally halved from 350 to 174. But more importantly, 60, 60, 60, still fine, still fine, still fine, still fine. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't think this suit has damage drop off. Actually, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because yeah, that's 60 all the way up there. And then if I, do something ridiculous and get really far away, oh no, there is damage drop off. It's just very far. So now I'm at 50% damage because I'm at range. But look how quickly the damage drop off becomes moot. Like, already at 30, already all the way up to 49, and now I'm back to maximum damage. So the difference between full damage and half damage, and this is for most of the mobile suits in the game, is literally like the distance of one dash for your mobile suit. So trying to play on the outside, trying to play too far away, and this is just kind of a general rule insofar as the mobile suits in this game are concerned, the damage drop-off values for a lot of the mobile suits in this game are very steep and very sudden. Not the values, I should say, the distance. The distance at which drop-off happens is sudden, and the amount that it drops off beyond that distance is dramatic. So getting used to what those distances are, exactly where your mobile suit excels, is going to take some trial and error. Generally speaking, you're going to be using this character, this mobile suit, as, backline support, taking as much damage as you can at range, which is reliable. And then with the Hades system, again, this should feel very familiar if you are used to Soldier 76. It's not auto-aim. At least I don't think it's auto-aim. Is it described as having auto-aim? Increases movement speed and primary weapon performance for a short time. So yeah, your gun suddenly becomes significantly stronger. In fact, let me get my super bag real quick and get an idea of exactly how much damage that does. Okay, so that actually gives you like 4% of your super on a direct hit. That's not bad. So normal headshot damage is 120. With Hades activated, it is increased to 194, which I believe is roughly a 33% increase. But I think the movement speed is a really big part of it as well. I really like this suit. I think the suit fits into almost any team composition. Very good abilities. EMP grenade, I think, is unfortunately one of the weakest abilities in this game. I don't see much use for it because it's active for such a short time and it slows down so little. So maybe if it's stunned, that'd be better, because having a stun ability is almost an instant. It's an instant enormous leg up on the rest of all the mobile suits in the game. But Pale Rider is still a very, very good suit. Works on any team composition. Good damage, good healing, good utility. Just all around like a B+ suit. Really good. I really enjoy playing as this suit. Next up is the OG Gundam, the RX-78-2, or as you will hear everyone refer to it in this game, the Gundam. This is the Gundam. This is another suit I really like. Works very well at medium to medium-long ranges. Hip fire is not great. You can see the cone kind of goes all over the place. But that's not really the point of this suit. You don't really want to be in close combat with this suit ever. Luckily, it has what I like to call the oh button. And the oh button for this suit is a shield with 1,000 health that stays up for a few seconds that allows you to, including dashes, disengage from a fight very quickly. So, good defensive ability. Gun range, pretty good. 230 at that point. Is 230 normal headshot? No, but it can go up to 460. Meaning Gundam can 2-tap a lot of the mobile suits in this game with 2 headshots. And that is, you know, not difficult to do. Damage drop-off for the Gundam. Let's see. Okay, so I'm already at it. So on this mobile suit, let's see. Still hitting for max damage on the Zaku here on the front. 230, 460. 175, 342. So again, just to reiterate, when it comes to damage drop-off, that's the distance. That is the range difference between doing full damage and having a significant amount of damage drop-off. So staying engaged in the right range, depending on your mobile suit, and figuring out exactly what that range is going to be paramount, because you're going to be getting your kills in this game with your primary weapons. Abilities, more often than not, other than your supers, your ultimates, essentially, you're not going to be getting kills with your abilities, for the most part, unless you have a grenade or something like that. Most of the time, you know, 85, 90 times out of 100, you're going to be getting your kills using your guns. Now, one of the reasons I really, really like the normal Gundam is the ball and chain, which they call in this game the Hyper Hammer. Inflicts damage, stun, knockback, and guard break when it hits an enemy. Strike the wall or ground near an enemy to inflict minor area damage and knockback. So this is, for all intents and purposes, this is a grenade. But it's a grenade with a very unique animation and very good utility. So it hits for 400 for starters, which is a strong hit. I don't think it can critical hit. If it can, that'd be broken. No, because that would have been a critical hit for sure. The big deal about that is that if you are facing off against another Gundam, a Sazabi, or a GM, or I don't know if they're called GMs or GIMs. I've heard both. If you're facing off against either of them with this ability, that's their shield knocked down. That's their shield knocked away. So, especially when dealing with a Sazabi, which you're going to be dealing with almost every single match, that's an incredible ability to have. Very good utility. And then, as if it couldn't get much better, this ultimate is insane. Bounce off the wall, and it just wrecks. Giant napalm grenade, massive area denial, can single-handedly take over a point or deny a point. The main drawback to napalm grenade is that it has about a 3-second timer, if not a little bit more, before it goes off, and you can destroy it. It has its own health bar. So this giant, you know, holographic image appears of what the range of this grenade is going to be, telling you it's there, and also telling you exactly where it is. So you can't sneak this grenade into a gunfight. You can't just throw it surprisingly. And a team with good communication is going to absolutely shoot the grenade down and destroy it, which does hurt the utility of the ability a bit. That's another thing people don't realize. Shoot downed suits, because you're going to get damage on them. But just one more time to get an idea. I like doing this. I like bouncing it straight off the ground, because then it gets a weird bounce and people aren't expecting that. They're expecting to look down at the ground to find it. And that's not where I put it. I like doing a nice bounce and destroying everything on point like that. Another, what I would consider like B+ mobile suit. I love the original Gundam. I like using this suit a lot. There's other suits that do a lot of its kit a little bit better than it, which is why I have it sitting at around like a B+. But at the same time, it's still a very good suit. It still does a ton of damage. It just... there's just a few other suits that do its job better. Moving on, the Zaku. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I think Zaku's probably the worst mobile suit in the game. And I want to be clear, I say worst, but that is worst amongst best. I don't think there's any mobile suit in this game that you would put on a tier list that is below B tier. He is fast, he is deadly, he is incredibly good at close range, but he is absolutely the definition of the glass cannon in this game. So you get only 800 health. Its abilities have good utility, but again, utility from other suits I think is slightly better. But there's a 1-2 punch with this suit that works extremely well. First off, and I haven't really talked about dashing yet, this suit has 3 dashes, and they're incredibly fast. This suit can also absolutely destroy a 1000 health mobile suit with body shots with less than a full clip. Or full magazine, I should say. So if you hit 24 of the 30 shots, you're going to kill an 800 health mobile suit like a Zaku. So against, you know, other suits with kind of paper armor with the lowest armor tier, especially if you're hitting those headshots, you're going to absolutely mow through suits. And you're going to be moving around, you're going to be, you know, getting a lot done. It's great. Now, what's strange about okay, first off, it's 2 abilities. Number 1, you know, another O button. The smoke grenade. The point of the smoke grenade is it gives you about 2 seconds of full-on invulnerability. So if you're suddenly in a situation where you need to run, your healer has been killed, you absolutely need to get health as quickly as possible, pop the smoke, get out of there, run, find a health. Like, just that, it's that simple. It's a very strong ability, which is why it has very, very long recharge. And then second ability is a thrown grenade, which goes off after a set time, only does 250 damage, but also causes knockback and stun. So, useful in as much as it causes stun. You can, you know, if you hit that. Another thing with this mobile suit, you cannot ADS. And at anything outside the closest of ranges, you know, like, I'm not really doing much there. I can't ADS. So Zaku's job is to be right up in your face, get a kill, and get out. And the problem is that there are other suits that do that better. There just are. I like this suit. It's, again, it's fun. It's not bad. I don't think there's a single bad mobile suit in this game, period. But there is no doubt in my mind, and I hate saying this because it's one of my favorite mobile suits of all time, the Zaku-II ranged, which tells me there is going to be, you know... Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I didn't even talk about his ultimate. Real quick, before... Ultimate also, like... That's cool and does good damage. Like, that can really mess with a big group composition and bust it up, which is huge. That is a very... It is not flashy, but it is a very, very good ultimate. Still, same situation, other suits that simply do it better. You know, other suits that simply do the Zaku's job better. This suit is broken. Barbatos is legitimately broken, and if you don't believe me, dead Zaku. It's that simple. Barbatos, just like the Zaku, has 3 dashes. They don't go quite as far. They're not quite as glidey. You know, normal hits, 300 each. Not fast, but you can hit multiple units. You can, you know, kill everything with this suit. It's kind of ridiculous how much damage this suit can do. So what you're going to see most of the time... Oh, and also, real quick. So it has 3 main abilities. This jump, which gives it some of the best maneuverability in the entire game. High ground, he doesn't care. He's going to come up and reach you. So what a lot of people will do is they will hold down your secondary fire, which is this big slam. That's going to be your main damage starter with Barbatos. So you'll see guys either dashing around with this or flying around with this. And as they're flying around, they pick a target. Well, that's actually the wrong way to do it. I'm so bad with this suit. I really am. So do you start with a sword dive? Is that what it is? I see that a lot. You'll see that a lot in aerial attack. Where you... I'm getting DMs now. Dang it. 1 second. No! Stop it. I am recording. Okay. Either way, like, the only thing you need to know about Barbatos is this. 1, 2. 700 damage, 600 damage. Any suit in the game that does not have, like, Dom's armor buff or anything like that is dead. Is flat out dead. And on top of that... Look, that's a whole bunch of more dead suits because of a 3/super. Like, every one of those hits is doing 700. 2 of those slashes, any mobile suit in the game is dead. It's just ridiculous. It is the single most powerful offensive suit in the game in terms of outright burst damage. Nothing else even comes close. It's an S-tier suit, should be on absolutely every team. If you don't have someone using Barbatos on your team, there's something wrong with your team composition, because as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the 3 mobile suits that should absolutely be on every single team. It's not even a question. Use Barbatos. Damage output is insane. However, my favorite mobile suit in the game, the Sazabi, is absolutely also an S-tier suit, and this is the only suit in the game that I would say is arguably even better than Barbatos, but I feel like this suit is actually somewhat well-balanced. In fact, relatively well-balanced. Slow suit for starters. Not a surprise whatsoever. But look down there. It has 1,400 health. And a 1,600 health shield. This is your tank. This is your go-to tank in this game. 3,000 health overall if you're including shield and normal health. That alone makes it like an A-tier suit. On top of that, a shotgun with some good range to it. Not great, but good. But if you are up close and personal with another mobile suit, 720 damage on a crit. can almost one-tap many of the suits in this game. So if you just, you know, 1-2, it doesn't matter what you're facing off against. It's going to be dead. The hatchet throw is a good ability. It's a stun. It will knock shields away. It's very useful as a utility. But more importantly, and you would never believe this for a tank, this mobile suit has the best mobility in the entire freaking game. So the secondary ability is called Homing Boost. Charge toward an enemy or thrown beam tomahawk, dealing damage and knockback to enemies you hit along the way. The damage and knockback, honestly, kind of stinks. It's 100 damage and it's a little bit of knockback. It's really not ever worth using it that way. The whole point of the hatchet throw is the ability to get this tank, this massive damage dealer, up onto sniping positions, to quickly get into a battle, to go over terrain that you would never expect a tank to be able to do. The fact that this guy can basically fly, basically has straight up flight as a tank is insane. Such good mobility, such good abilities overall. Oh, and for good measure, I can mark enemies through walls for my allies for a good 5 or 6 seconds every 10 seconds. Amazing recon, amazing movement, and on top of it all, the ultimate, the funnels are a kill button. Let's just have AI guns zoom across the battlefield. What more can you ask for in a single mobile suit? Most health, amazing mobility, fantastic, you know, secondary abilities. The axe throw is both great for mobility and it can take out an enemy shield. Most health in the game. What more can you possibly ask for? Sazabi is hands down, without a doubt in my mind, the best mobile suit in this game. Has to be on every team composition. If there is one mobile suit that I point at and I have to say that has to be on your team, it's Sazabi. The only area in which Sazabi lacks is long-range damage, and you have so many backup suits behind you that are doing that job for you and doing that job better than you could ever possibly hope for with this suit. It's that simple. Like, have Sazabi on your team composition. Period. Have it on your team comp. Should be on your team comp, has to be on your team comp. S, double S, triple S, S plus, whatever you want to say, number one, best suit in the game. And what I would consider the third of the S tier. These three suits, the Gundam Barbatos, the Sazabi, and the Methuss, are the three suits that I would say should be on every team composition. Methuss's damage output, for starters, is actually kind of scary in close range. Like, that's fast. That's really fast for a kill. And there's no bloom on it. Those shots are going exactly where you want those shots to go every single time. So as a primary weapon, really not bad. Number two, I'm a plane. Great maneuverability, can get around the field very quickly. Double, has 2 bursts, or 2 dashes, I apologize. So decent on the ground mobility, but this is your healer. So the healer works similar to, you know, any tether heal that you're used to in games like this. I'm going to be passively healing the whole time, earning ability the whole time. Well, yeah, see, healing gives me my passive, which is all great. And then my super makes whoever I am tethered to more powerful. It's nano boost. And I believe it gives them a straight up 100% damage buff. But does that give me a damage buff? I'm not sure. The second ability that this suit has, or the next ability, I should say, there is a double laser burst that's just strong. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong button. There's a double laser burst, which is just stronger. You know, hits strong, hits well. Does it over-penetrate? Fire powerful long-range beams from both arms to damage all units in a small area. So it does have an AoE burst to it. But it's not the biggest damage dealer in the world. Let's get rid of him so I can tell how much damage it does on its own. I mean, 400 damage is actually not bad. I think I got it. Maybe I hit 200 on that one. So, the biggest deal, and the reason that this suit needs to be on every team composition, is what I just did. This is one of the few suits in the game that has a ranged revive. The way this game works is you don't die automatically. Every single suit in this game can be revived by any other suit in the game when it's downed. And it's absolutely huge to be able to revive suits in the heart of battle, around corners. I'm dealing with a fight over here. These guys are dealing with a fight over here. I can still heal. I can heal from behind cover. I can be providing support. I can even throw out, and I always forget that this suit even has this ability, a turret. Now, the turret's not going to do much damage. It's going to do 35 per tick. But in combination with me shooting, that can end up being a lot of damage. It's a great distraction. The tick noise does get a little annoying. It's a fantastic distraction. You're not really going to get any kills with it, but it's great for information. You can know if someone's going around a side route by placing the turret there and listening for your hit registers. This is your medic plus. A medic that can deal some decent damage, has good movement, can revive from around corners, can buff your offensive capabilities with its super. It's just a utility monster. It's just a utility monster. Again, another S-tier suit. Absolute must-have on almost every team. It's your medic, and it's a medic that can deal damage. I mean, there's not much more you can really ask for. Gundam Sniper 2. The GM Sniper 2. I'm sorry, not Gundam, because this is not a Gundam. It's a sniper. I mean, look at the damage ticker catching up. Is that gonna happen forever? 1100 critical hit damage. I think that just got nerfed, actually, because I believe that was literally 1600 yesterday. That might have just gotten nerfed. I could be nuts. Bottom line is, you will headshot kill the vast majority of mobile suits in this game with one headshot using this mobile suit. And the recoil direction is straight up, comes straight down. Very easy sniper rifle to shoot. Very easy suit to use. You know, it's a sniper. It's exactly what you think it is. Body shots hitting for about 440. I think that, whatever. I don't know what the numbers were beforehand off the top of my head. Secondary ability, a jump pad. Get high ground, you know, get up to sniper perches that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get up onto. All good stuff. Also, as far as I believe, there's no damage drop-off on the sniper rifle whatsoever. Yep, no damage drop-off. And then its next ability... I'm sorry, let me reset my brain there for a second. Now, there's two major problems with this suit, I would say. Number one, the bloom when you're hip firing this thing. Look at the size of the crosshair and pay attention to the angles at which these bullets are about to go while I hip fire. Did you see that? Did you see that one go straight down? That one go almost straight up? That one went like almost 9 o'clock. That one went almost straight down to the ground right there. You cannot reliably hip fire with this rifle whatsoever. The cone, the bloom, as soon as you leave the barrel, is like a 45-degree angle. Like, you are never going to hit fire with this thing unless you're point blank. And even if you're point blank, it can miss. That second shot missed. That shot missed. That shot missed. It's ridiculous what the bloom on this gun is, so you should never ever hip fire with this gun, which really hurts this mobile suit's abilities. Number 2, it does have one close range option, which are supposed to be the Gatling guns in its head. The Vulcan pod. Fire a close range burst from your head mounted Vulcan pod for a short time. It's not gonna kill, it can't crit, and it has a pretty long cooldown time. It's not a great ability, you know, it's just another oh button. You're not gonna kill anything with it. In fact, I think you can do maximum 600 damage if all the hits hit. Super ability is Recon. It's exactly what you think it is. Now I can see all the enemies through walls, and I mean all the enemies on the map through walls I can see, and my entire team can see. Great recon ability, awesome utility overall as a super, gives you tons of information, you can see where different compositions are on the map, it's really good. And then last, and I have to wait for this guy to get killed by this Zaku, and this is interesting because this is another thing that is similar to the last suit we were talking about. Long range revive. And by long range revive, I mean long range revive. Problem is, of course, it has a super, super long cooldown. As it should. It is a long range res. And it's not instant either. You know, I can be really far away. Oh no, he's down. Like, that's really good. That's really good. There's a few really strong abilities that this suit has, but the moment you're anything within medium range facing off against this suit, as long as whoever you're facing off against is competent at medium range, there's almost no way your suit, as the GM Sniper 2, is going to win a medium range fight, unless you can just, you know, get an absolutely ridiculous quick scope off, which, I mean, is doable. It is doable. But this is another one of those suits that I would have to say is more along the lines of like B minus tier, if only because it's so specialized. So specialized, arguably the most specialized suit in the game, other than one. But again, it's a sniper that is incredibly useful, does very good damage, can absolutely wreck a line of mobile suits trying to defend a point. And of course, has a long range revive. It's got a lot going for it. The Asshimar, I don't really understand, to be honest with you. I don't feel like I ever see this suit getting a lot of kills. It's 1,000 health, so it's, you know, it's 200 more than a lot of things, which will help it in survivability. And, you know, it has damage drop off, but those shots are going to go exactly where they want to go, where you want them to go every single time. So in terms of, you know, being a headshot monster, 80 and 160 being the damage, yeah, it can maintain being in the air for a long time. That is true. So you can get up, way up into the air. Aerial superiority is the name of the game when it comes to this suit. You are going to be able to be way up into the air, get angles that other suits absolutely can't get up to high ground that other suits have quite a difficulty getting to. And then there's a bit of area denial with its other secondary, which is this napalm grenade, which doesn't do much damage. Oh, also, this gun cannot ADS, or I should say the suit cannot ADS. Instead, it gets a charged 4-round burst that works at longer ranges a bit better. And if you're hitting headshots, will do 400 damage at range. You can only use that about once every 8 or 9 seconds, as opposed to, 160. And again, this is a suit whose damage drop-off, the difference is I can be standing here and hitting for 40, and I can be standing here and hitting for almost maximum damage. Another suit with a very, literally from like there to there is the difference in your damage drop-off. Which ironically, yet again, is almost the distance of one perfect dash for this mobile suit. So again, max damage, minimum damage. That's all the distance you need. Again, the fire grenade, 17 per tick for up to 450 damage. They have to really be standing in it for it to work that well, but it's not bad. That can dump damage in on a mobile suit, half health if you get the headshots. And then its super is kind of weird. $500 damage each on a punch that goes straight. It's actually very similar to the Zaku-II's super. A single hit dashing ability that can do damage. In fact, basically, I think this suit basically does the Zaku's job, but arguably a little bit better because it can do it at range, but I don't know. This suit has not been a favorite of mine. I haven't spent a bunch of time with it. It can clearly do decent damage at range. It's hard for me to give this suit a grade the way that I've been giving other suits simply because I don't have a lot of time on this mobile suit. But if I had to give it a grade, I would give it like a B+. Maneuverability is really good. The fire grenade is pretty decent area denial, and it actually does a lot more damage than I thought it did at 425. So, really not bad. It's not a bad suit. Maybe I need to give this thing more tries. B+, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised after having just gone through its kit again. The Dom Trooper. Love this suit. Love this big glidey boy to death. He is your rocket launcher, AoE, area denial boy. You know exactly what he does. You've used suits. You've used characters like him in other games. Direct hits deal an extra 100 damage with 250 total potential splash damage. You're going to be shooting things from around corners. You're going to be shooting at the ground to try to get rid of guys that are hiding around those corners. You know exactly what to expect with this suit. It is surprisingly maneuverable for its size. Its dash goes very far. It's a little glidey and floaty, actually, which can be a problem. And then for good measure, it can give a very, very big temporary armor boost to your allies. This is huge when facing off against someone who's using a very good Barbatos, because it might mean that you can help your allies survive the 1-2 punch that Barbatos gives. I love running the Dom Trooper alongside a GM or a Sazabi because of this ability. And you can see, it's not an unhefty amount. Like, it's good. Right-click ability is a pew-pew laser that is kind of like another button, if you ask me. Does 50 per tick. Recharges. It's, it is that close-range weapon that... It's very similar to the sniper's head Vulcan, in that it is your close-range, crap, there's someone doing damage to me. I can do 500 damage to you real quick with a laser that recharges. You might, if you get a few ground shots off against an enemy in close range, you can finish them off with the laser. It's not a bad ability. On top of that, you have mines, which hit, I don't even know how much they hit for. Is that gonna fall in? So mines hit for 150, I believe. They don't go far. Good for chokeways, another thing that gives you good information, because no matter where you are on the map, the mines stay there. And more importantly, at least insofar as when I last played this character online, but there was a patch today, so I just want to make sure this is true. I believe the mines stay where you put them, even if you die as the Dom. So, you know, relatively straightforward suit. And then, if you really want to disrupt stuff, you know, every one of those hits is doing 300, which is pretty good. And more importantly, you see this glowing ground everywhere that I just put that stuff that finally disappeared. Charge forward for a short time, deflecting attacks from the front for the duration. Grants temporary bonus HP and increased movement speed to allies. Deals damage, knockback, and guard break to enemies. It is one of the best disruption ultimates in this game. Hands down. On a suit that is very easy to use, very straightforward. Like, if you're just starting off this game and you're trying to find a suit that, you know, is relatively easy to use, there's no complex facets to its game plan, it's just trying to do damage, and you want to try to stay on the back line, deal splash damage, hurt things from around corners, this is a very good suit to choose. I honestly think this is like an A-level suit. I think that the ability to give your allies bonuses, to cause massive area denial from shooting near the ground. Are you going to get fast kills with this suit? No, this suit is not a duelist. It is not going to melt. Oh, the patch was only for fixing penalties when the player leaves. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that for me. I appreciate that. I thought the sniper rifle did more damage before the patch, but I could be crazy. I'm not sure. But yeah, bottom line, the Dom is an A tier suit. I think the Dom kind of doesn't get the respect it deserves, but with its ultimate buffing everyone around you and causing you to become a literal moving missile that is 100% going to be the entire focus of the enemy team, because you're going through there and zipping around, it is great for busting up. This suit is for busting up defensive positions. 100%. And you're going to be running into that quite a bit in this game. A tier suit, absolutely love it. I think it's really fun. This guy's weird. The Turn A Gundam is a very weird Gundam in more than just its appearances, which, by the way, fun fact, this Gundam was visually designed by the same visual designer behind Blade Runner, which is actually really cool. Anyways, a good gun that's hitting for 180 headshots and 120 body shots. Oh, and by the way, has no damage drop-off. So you can be pot-shotting from pretty ridiculous range. As you can see, that bloom doesn't really increase all that much. As long as you're pot-shotting, it's not going to be difficult. And yes, free hugs. So, main gun, pretty good. Alternate fire, arguably one of the better utility abilities out of a gun. Charging up, 510 damage for a headshot and can over-penetrate enemies. The difference is that the shot is significantly slower, so it's a bit easy to dodge at range. But if you're dealing with a group of enemies that are huddled up in a hallway because someone like the Pale Rider is healing, or they're all sitting behind a Sazabi, you know, that's not a bad ability to have. And then to top it all off, as has already been pointed out, number one, a self-heal. 25-second cooldown, which I believe is the longest cooldown for anything in the game. And I don't even know how much it heals for. Can he damage me? He can. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so down to like 200 health. Well, let's see. Come on. So if your passive health regen is already active, that is a very fast heal. So this is one of the few mobile suits that can kind of go out and do its own thing, and then for good measure, you turn into Ken Masters. Wow, that has like no range. I was about to turn into Ken Masters, and this game decided no. But yeah, you can grab an enemy mobile suit, throw it over your head, stun it for a second. Like, that move is so weird for a mobile suit. The throw is weird. And I don't even know how much damage it does. It does 400 damage, which is not bad. And it leaves the other mobile suit definitely isolated, and your team could possibly, you know, team fire them down, group fire them down very quickly. But perhaps the ability that is scariest on this mobile suit is the Moonlight Butterfly, which is its ultimate, which can deal damage over the widest area of any ultimate ability in this game, as far as I can tell. It only stays up for a few seconds, but it can deal absolutely ridiculous damage to a team composition. The funny thing about this ability is that oftentimes, if I ever use Moonlight Butterfly, the enemy tries to escape by running straight away. But the problem is, I'm trailing them above as they run in the same direction that I'm going, so I'm dropping the same damage over them the whole distance as they go, and I might be able to take a few of them out. It's another ability just like the normal Gundam's ultimate, the napalm grenade, that is a lot of area denial, is the kind of ability that can turn a fight in your team's favor. So, again, another B+ suit. Its ability to hit for 510 with a headshot at range is kind of ridiculous. But as you can see, like, even partial charge, it's going to hit for 300 on a headshot. But you can tell that the laser has a little bit of charge time and travel time as well, making it a little bit more difficult to recommend compared to something like the normal Gundam and its primary fire, or its secondary fire, but ADS fire. I still think this is a B+ suit. I still think the turn A is weird, but still good. Still quite good, actually. Like, that's good. And then, as if, like, yeah, so that's the so it deals 100 damage for every single one of those ticks that you're hearing. Okay. I just wanted to get that number in my head. Still a B+ suit. Quite like this suit. Works pretty well at medium range, but has a close range ability in its throw that I think is pretty useless overall compared to other stun abilities in this game. It has very little range. The passive heal is huge. Really, really helps it. This would be like a B or B- suit if it wasn't for that passive heal, because that means that this guy can go out on his own, can try to flank, can overcharge that laser, and possibly shoot... Sorry about that. Possibly shoot 1 or 2 shots through an entire enemy group. Definitely works. Definitely can be an effective suit. But another one of those suits that I feel like some other suits possibly do what it does a little bit better. Guntank. Tank boy. I am Team Tank Boy. I love this suit. Look at everybody. I'm shooting everybody on screen. I've already done 1,000 damage. I've almost done 2,000 damage. Oh my god. The damage output on this mobile suit is insane. Is absolutely insane. I love the Guntank to death, and that's its primary fire. Its primary fire is to take everything in your sights. Or can it get everything, or can it only lock? Oh, okay. Okay. No, it can only lock on to 3 at a time. Boo. Anyways. Can it only lock down to 3 at a time? I'm just holding down the trigger. It's hitting all 3 of them simultaneously. As if that wasn't good enough, I can then focus down one and hit for significantly more damage. Am I ever going to win a duel with this mobile suit? No, I am absolutely not going to win a duel with this mobile suit. But as a backline support mobile suit who can build up super unbelievably fast by dealing damage to multiple enemies. Oh, and for good measure, it has the fastest revive in the game by some notable measure. Every 10 seconds, you get a super fast res. And then, as if its utility wasn't good enough, let's start with a charge. Punch. 150 damage, knocks someone well out of position. You can knock someone off an objective. You can also go through multiple enemies for 100, punch at the end of it for 150. Pretty decent disruption. It's kind of like a mini version of the Dom Super, so not great. Also, actually a pretty good way to get out of dodge. You know, if I'm taking damage and I need to get out of there, it's not the worst way to move. Does that deflect rounds? I don't think so. Charge forward for a short... No, you do deflect attacks from the front for the duration. So it is literally a mini version of the Dom Super. I like that. So it actually... Yeah, that's cool. Second ability R, it's, you know, it's Big Gun, which can deal some decent damage. And it's another AoE. Again, like the Dom, I feel like this is something you would want to, you know, hit at the ground near a corner, cause some splash damage, try to hit as many things as you can. But this suits super. And no more Zaku's. just no more Zaku's. It's just a great support suit. This is one of... It's so good. Guntank is an absolute A. I think people are sleeping on this mobile suit hard. Very hard. I think that it's one of the best support suits in the game. Quick revive can be huge. The ability to bump people off of objectives can be very big. One of the best ultimates in the game, bar none. You're going to have a very hard time shooting that little plane out of the air before it blows up and possibly destroys 3, 4, even all 6 suits if they're all grouped together tight enough. Love this mobile suit. Very fun. A tier. Works on most team compositions. People think it's like a scrub suit because it's auto aim. I don't care. It's fun to use. It's great. I love it. The GM or the gym, I'm not sure which one it's called. I've heard both. Is probably the most slept on suit in the game. This is honestly a contender for S tier. 1300 damage shield is huge. A second shield user on your team, apart from Sazabi, is just huge to have. And especially considering that shield is only 300 less than Sazabi's shield. So, suddenly, you get a guy pot-shotting you for very reliable damage at mid-range. Which is good in and of itself. Number 2, healing grenade. A long-range heal. One of the only ways to long-range heal in this game. Like, oh no, I'm taking damage. I need to get out of here. Oh, what should I do? Heal. And I'm back to full health. Like, what? This is a fantastic support suit. Number 2, if you get caught in a close range fight and need to finish it real quick, Shield Bash does 300 damage and knocks back. Pretty good. Number 3, C4 charge. Does 900 900 damage, potentially. Wait, did that say 900? Do these Zakus have 1,000 health? I guess they do. Yeah. These Zakus don't have 1,000 health. They have don't have 800 health. They have 1,000 health. So you can almost kill with this. The problem? Long delay between activation and it actually going off. But you should be able to pop one more shot there, no problem. You know, get in there, get a few shots. Shield bash. The shield bash is particularly useful if you have someone like a Barbatos in your face or even a Sazabi right in your face that you're trying to tank damage from. Of course, big problem is if you lose your shield. Let's see what happens. But as you can see, you lose your shield bash. So until the shield comes back, which is a good 5, 6, 7... a good 7 to 8 seconds, you're not going to have your shield bash, and when your shield is gone as the GM, you're pretty useless. You're pretty useless, unfortunately. But being able to reliably 4-tap pretty much the majority of the suits in this game is big, and then it's ultimate for good measure. You throw out a bunch of homing grenades that go and do their thing. They hit for 400 each. Self-explanatory, possibly good area denial if you want to put that in a doorway or any other chokeway. It's a very good ability. This is an A+ tier suit that is only kept off being S tier because damage drop-off is real. Like, I think this has the worst damage drop-off of any weapon in the game. You're talking 80 versus 270 in headshot damage. And the drop-off, like most other suits in this game, is quite sudden. 53, 53, 53. So body shot minimum damage you're going to be doing is 53. That's 88, that's 66. So the difference between, again, almost like maximum range, minimum range. Maximum, minimum. It's such short distance for damage drop-off in this game. Can't dash with the shield up, hurts it a little bit as well, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Gundam Exia, who I have a cool skin for right now. Potentially big damage suit. Each one of its throwing laser, not what do they even call them? GN beam daggers. So you throw 3 of them. They have some travel time, but they can hit for very big damage. Hard to hit in battle. You know, you're going to be moving around. Not a fast suit in its normal movement. In fact, one of the slowest suits in the game. Has a good dash. Has a secondary dash as well. So technically speaking, this suit has 4 dashes. Very useful. Its main attack, not bad. Charge up. Slash does a good amount of damage. And you're going to be trying to do that a lot. Now, you'll see that a lot. A 1-2 from the Exia. Kind of difficult to hit. I've never been a big fan of this suit. So again, you have your dash, you have a charge up slash, which does 350, and then a secondary slash, which does 250. Now, when you were in Trans Am, wait, spin and slash? Can I do... wait. Okay, so it is both at the same time. I thought it was saying that I could do 2 attacks there for a second, which I can't. Yes, and that's a good point that Radical Dan just pointed out in my chat. Following up this causes additional stun. So, Exia is a stun monster. It can absolutely focus down a single enemy, get a lot of damage on him, and that's a kill on a 1,000 health enemy. Not bad. With Trans Amon, no extra damage there. That does 300 now. Ability cooldowns are much shorter. You know, extra damage, that does 600 instead. Oh, is that a full circle slash? It is. Okay, that actually makes that a significantly better ability than I thought it was. That's literally an on-point AoE that does 250 and causes big-time knockback. That's actually a lot better than I thought it was. Wow, okay. That actually moves Exia up on my tier list mentally a little bit. But no matter what, when it comes to this suit, everything it does, almost everything it does, the Barbatos just does better. If you're going to use a melee suit that you want to have a little bit more overall crowd control with, and an actual ranged attack in the form of the throwing beam sabers that this suit has, sorry, excuse me, then you can't really go wrong with this suit. Again, it's another one that I would consider more or less B tier. Good suit, can definitely do damage, but, you know, everything it can do better. And last but not least, let's talk about the Marasai, a suit that I, at first glance, immediately put at the bottom of my tier list, but with more time and experience, I think that this is a B+ suit. It's another specialist suit. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say it's like an A- suit because it's a specialist. Why? 1,200 health, above average. A little bit inaccurate fire. You know, that's a lot of bloom, and you're not going to hit those headshots every time. But you can plant it and absolutely get pinpoint damage with this weapon. And here's where things get interesting. This suit's job, at the end of the day, is to grab an individual mobile suit and melt them down. This suit's job, its ability, Sea Snake is the shock, Sea Snake Ensnare, which is literally Scorpions get over here, and then the rifle's Beam Blade. Inflicts damage and knockback to the target. Targets who are already stunned suffer an additional stun. So just like the Exia, this suit can double stun. What does that mean? That's pretty much a kill, and that was not a clean version at all of that. So I can go like, you can absolutely focus down an individual suit. And there's pretty much nothing they can do about it. This suit seems like its job, and it can do this job, is to be a support sniper. At first glance, that's the purpose of this suit. The purpose of this suit is to be a flanker. The purpose of this suit is to come up to a team composition, solo out a GM or a Sazabi or a Pale Rider, any suit that is a central part of an enemy team composition. You just decide to go, hey, you, I want you. So come here, and you're dead. And on top of that, let's say you somehow get on the flank and are able to be beside a whole bunch of mobile suits from the side, and you have ultimate. Now they're all stunned for a long stun. All shields are down, and your team can absolutely wipe them out. This is another B+ A- suit. like I can like it's weird to me that I would put so many things in such a tight grouping insofar as like a tier list in this game, but the reality is that every suit in this game does a job, and it can do that job well. There's just other suits that can do multiple jobs and do all those jobs well. So again, for the last time, I would say that Barbatos, Sazabi, and Methuss are must-haves on your team composition. All three of these suits are fantastic in what they do. All three of these suits have pretty good damage output. Methuss in particular has surprisingly good ranged damage output for a healer, for a medic. Barbatos is just broken. Like, the damage output is absurd. Burst damage is unbelievable. Has to be on every team. And Sazabi is the only real tank in this game, as far as I'm concerned. Like, insofar as, like, which is ironic considering there is an actual tank in this game. But Sazabi is the real tank in this game, should be your frontline fighter, be your spearhead on every single one of your pushes. Absolutely needs to be in the game. If I had to do a top 3 in this game, it is literally 1, 2, 3, in that order. Gundam Barbatos, Sazabi, and Methuss. All of these suits are great. All of these suits are fantastic. In A tier, I would say Pale Rider, Gundam, Guntank, GM, and the Marasai, I would say, are all A tier. A lot of people don't put the Marasai that high up. I put the Marasai pretty high up, the more I use it. Gundam Exia, Turn A, Asshimar, Sniper, and Zaku are all what I would consider B tier. But that's not because they're bad by any means. It's just that they're more or less specialized and do one thing well, and they still do that one thing well effectively and can be a useful part of any team composition. But it's like the Barbatos does things that both the Zaku and the Exia can do, but better. The Turn A Gundam is a good flanker and can get a lot of burst damage on a group of enemies, but it requires charge up, and its, you know, its utility is not that great otherwise. It's very much a solo suit, which is fine, but it's not great. You know, arguably the Marasai is better as a flanker. You know, again, Asshimar can get some really good damage, good flyer, but when you're flying, you have absolutely no defense, so when you're midair, you're probably going to be eating a lot of shots to anyone who's paying attention and might die very quickly. Bonus that it does have 1,000 health instead of just 800, though. And again, the Sniper speaks for itself. GM Sniper is a sniper. It's very specialized. Long range heal helps, or long range revive does help it a bit, but between the GM Sniper and the Zaku, I would say those are the worst suits in the game. And by worst, I just mean that other suits do what they do better, but not that they are bad at what they do.